He's reading the words of Pixie's attorneys.
You and your client will know their identities because you have to, duh. Wait, what do we get over on? How close is Destiny to winning? We have to make it through the discovery phase.
Oh, what do we get screwed over on? Oh, I don't know. Maybe the thing that you were spurging to your audience about. No, there's no way they can have their names sealed.
Is this supposed to be a loss? Defense. You just can't do that. I don't know why they keep trying to make this argument that they can. There's nothing wrong with them filing stuff under seal, especially for a case like this. I think it's appropriate.
Yeah, and you know why it's appropriate? Because you will absolutely go over this stuff on stream and make it as awful for everybody who goes against you as you possibly can. Yeah, it does make a lot of sense for them to do this.
I hope there are sanctions for this case when this is over. They don't understand the rules of civil procedure, and they don't understand.
They don't understand the rules. Destiny understands them. That's why he was just proven to be completely wrong. Destiny just suffered a pretty significant loss in his court case with Pixie, and I say that not based off of my judgment or an analysis of the law or anything like that, but based off of how much Destiny has been spurging about this potentially happening, saying that it's violating his rights, it's complete nonsense, Pixie's team should be sanctioned for not following procedure and all this sort of stuff. Now, as soon as this has happened, he's on a stream. Oh, yep, no, that makes total sense. Yep, that's what I was expected. That's how it should go. Very, very embarrassing the way that he has to spin this to his audience because of the position that he's in. He can't take any little L on any of this because his audience is already tuning out so much stuff in order to stay on the DGG train that they can't handle any little losses in court because so many of them are clinging on to this. So it's like, oh, well, he's not going to be found liable for anything because it's all nonsense and overblown. Well, we'll see. I for sure, I don't know that Pixie's going to win in this case. I hope she does, but I'm not going to pretend to have any idea whether or not she will. But Pixie tweets out, court update. Good news. Despite opposition from Destiny's counsel, the court has granted us the ability to keep witnesses' identity under seal. If you have any information regarding the case, we can file to keep your name out of public and protected by the court. So this is what Destiny was upset about and spurging about. He's like, you can't have these people's names under seal, and he was pretending as if Pixie and her team were never going to give Destiny and his team these people's names. No, they just wanted to get it sealed so that Destiny can't talk about these on his stream, and if he does, he would get in trouble for doing that. And as soon as the seal was approved or denied, they would give Destiny all the unredacted information. But that's not how Destiny frames it. He's pretending, no, they're never going to give it to me. They're trying to avoid giving me these people's names, so I can't follow up with them, and I don't even know what to look into. Not true. Please don't hesitate to contact me if you believe you might be a witness or another victim. Also, please help and donate if you can help keep this case going. Every dollar counts. I'll link her GoFundMe or whatever this is. Yeah, Give, Send, Go in the description if you feel so inclined. So here is a little bit of a video courtesy of Kyle Rittenhouse showing how Destiny was talking about this before it happened versus after it happened.
Destiny is in court accused of sharing intimate videos without permission. He has been slandering the victim, Pixie, and her attorneys in front of his audience of rabid fans. Pixie's attorneys requested to protect their witnesses from the public to ensure.
It reminds me, I had never once heard Destiny say Pixie's real name before until this lawsuit stuff started happening. And then right away, he's saying her first name on stream. Very, very strange. So it completely makes sense to me why Pixie and her team would want to do these sorts of things. Also, Destiny's talking about, oh, do we have Queeman and J-Stock's doxes? Anybody got those? I'd love to have those so that I could take their lives from them, beat them to a pulp and all this sort of stuff that he would obviously never do.
They wouldn't have their names in public court documents for Destiny to review on stream. For the last 2 weeks, Destiny has claimed Pixie's attorneys were violating procedure, telling his audience he hoped the judge would sanction Pixie's attorneys for breaking the rules.
I hope there are sanctions for opposing counsel after this. But I'm hoping, as part of a summary judgment, that I hope that opposing counsel is punished for the behavior because they've violated several rules at this point.
Today, when Pixie was granted all of her requests to seal witnesses, he is pretending it was totally expected and proper, despite attacking the victims and their witnesses the last 2 weeks.
Leave to file access pages, paperless order granting for the motion for leave to file, providing good cause to allow plaintiff to file under seal the unredacted declarations for IBM. Okay, this is fine. Sure. They keep trying.
I mean, how embarrassing is that? He's talking about how they should be sanctioned for trying to do this before. Then when it actually happens, okay, yeah, no, that's fine. That's what I expected.
To cite these like local rules for how they want to file things under seal, like local rule 5.4b1. If you read these, like the local rules, or if you know anything about civil procedure, you can't file stuff under seal and keep it from the defense. You just can't.
Oh, it's almost as if Destiny doesn't know anything about this. He doesn't understand the law or legal procedures or any of this stuff that has to do with his court case. He just talks nonsense and spins to his audience. Wow, crazy.
Can't file stuff under seal and keep it from the defense. You just can't do that. I don't know why they keep trying to make this argument that they can. Like,
Well, it seems like because they can.
Destiny knows the Pixie's attorneys were going to provide him with the information of the witnesses. He said it himself.
certain statements by witnesses, which purpose is to keep their names out of the public. You and your client will know their identities because you have to, duh.
He's reading the words of Pixie's attorneys.
You and your client will know their identities because you have to, duh. Wait, what do we get over on? How close is Destiny to winning? We have to make it through the discovery phase. Oh,
Oh, what did we get screwed over on? Oh, I don't know. Maybe the thing that you were spurging to your audience about. No, there's no way they can have their names sealed.
wait, what do we get over on? How close is Destiny to winning? We have to make it through the discovery phase. Oh, and whoever posted.
Like, obviously, I can't imagine this being the thing that pushes anybody over the edge. If you're on board with Destiny being a habitual consent violator, obviously this isn't going to bother you. But how pathetic to watch this guy, seriously. He's just going to, on a dime, flip to his audience. He was going on and on about this on his stream. And then as soon as it turns out he was wrong, oh, what do you mean? How did we get screwed over? Where'd you guys even get that?
Did that is buying the coping NKF narrative. Well, what is the cope on how we... There's no excuse not to share the unredacted docs with you, no? No, you have to do that, of course. Oh, the court finds good cause to allow plaintiff to file under seal the unredacted declarations. Is this supposed to be a loss? Like, everything about this is just a joke. I can't, dude. I'm praying.
He's talking about his stream here.
The unredacted declarations. Is this supposed to be a loss? Like, everything about this is just a joke. I can't, dude. I'm praying. Is this supposed to be a loss? Defense. You just can't do that. I don't know why they keep trying to make this argument that they can. There's nothing wrong with them filing stuff under seal, especially for a case like this. I think it's appropriate.
Yeah, and you know why it's appropriate? Because you will absolutely go over this stuff on stream and make it as awful for everybody who goes against you as you possibly can. Yeah, it does make a lot of sense for them to do this.
Destiny has doxed Pixie and many of the witnesses.
Yes, I think it's appropriate. The issue is them filing things under seal and then keeping them from us. You can't keep.
So I'll read more of Pixie's tweets about this, but since he popped it up here, Destiny and his attorneys were told repeatedly that they would have access to the unredacted versions, and the court ordered for the names to be protected, or after the court ordered for the names to be protected. Giving him access to the names before the court would protect them would defeat the purpose of the seal.
Keep that from us. That's insane. You and your client will know their identities because you have to, duh. However, yeah, that's fine. It seems because they have to file unredacted declarations so that we would have all that information. Yeah. Yes, I think it's appropriate. Wait, what do we get over on? Is this supposed to be a loss? They tried to sell it in a way that you expected the under seal filing motion to not be granted. I think generally, I don't know if it's that hard to file things under seal. And I'm not sure if we really fought that hard against filing it under seal. The big deal was them filing stuff, but like,
well, I don't know about your lawyers, but on stream you certainly fought against it.
and I'm not sure if we really fought that hard against filing it under seal. The big deal was them filing stuff, but...
Oh wait, no, actually, I have some court docs that show his team did try to fight against this. Never mind.
And I'm not sure if we really fought that hard against filing it under seal. The big deal was them filing stuff, but like keeping it from us, like not telling us who it was. So if they file under seal an unredacted declaration, then that means that we have all the information. Like, I'm fine with that. That's fine. You just can't do that. I don't know why they keep trying to make this argument that they can. You and your client will know their identities because you have to, duh. There's no way she tweeted that. Wait, what? Court update. Good news. Despite opposition from Destiny's counsel, the court has granted us the ability to keep witnesses' identity under seal. If you have any information regarding a case, we can file to keep your name out of public and protected by the court.
I was listening to the esports Batman who used to be in Destiny's community. I'm assuming he's not anymore, but he was on J-Stock's stream, and he was saying this is not like a blanket approval to seal people's names. I think it was 3 people specifically that this is for. So any future potential witnesses, they'll have to apply for this seal again, but it seems like it probably would be granted since they did it here. But it isn't just a blanket thing. It has to go person by person if they want to protect other witnesses in addition to the people who were granted the seal here.
Keep your name out of public and
Oh, and I don't think I mentioned esports Batman is a lawyer.
protected by the court. I mean, like, that doesn't really make any sense, but okay. There's nothing wrong with them filing stuff under seal, especially for a case like this. I think it's appropriate. It doesn't really make any sense, but okay. Because their counsel's claim was that I was the one that was personally harassing and intimidating people. And if you file it under seal, I still get the name. So theoretically, I would still be able to harass people, but...
Yeah, but there would be legal consequences for it now. If the names weren't sealed, you would be perfectly within your right to talk about this stuff. But considering you've threatened to beat up and or end people like Queeman and J-Stock, you said Pixie's real name on your stream, yeah, it absolutely makes sense that they would want to do this to protect them, or at the very least, make it so that there's legal consequences for you making their names public.
If you file it under seal, I still get the name. So theoretically, I would still be able to harass people, but hey, listen, be based. I would still be able to harass people, but Procedural Queeman, I know I could. I show up there has to do it. I do not want somebody, or I do want somebody to kill Driscoll though, or Lab, or Mr. or Queeman. All those people can go die.
Gisticle has mentioned himself. He plans to provide a statement only if he gets protection due to the public death threats against him by Destiny. Destiny is by definition intimidating witnesses.
Procedural Queeman, I know I could. I show up there has to do it. I do not want somebody, or I do want somebody to kill Driscoll though, or Lab, or Mr. or Queeman. All those people can go die. None of this, if you really think you have a strong argument here, which fine, say you do, say, okay, well, I think defense is trying to murder all of the witnesses or whatever, file that with the court.
They did, and he lost. Now Destiny's victims can come forward.
Under seal is public. Destiny still knows who it is. Well, under seal is private, or rather just the court holds onto it and the public can't see, but I would say, obviously. Not that it mattered. I don't do witness intimidation. That, I'm just kidding. I can't make a joke about it because it'll show up in their next writing. Procedural Queeman, I know I could.
Again, he's just blatantly lying to his audience here. Yeah, I would never do witness intimidation. I mean, what is it when you say you're going to show up to somebody's house or you hope that their lives are ended? That's not supposed to be intimidation?
That,
I mean, to be fair, when Destiny says something like that, it's not really all that intimidating because of who he is and his stature and all that. But that's the intent, is to be intimidating.
I'm just kidding. I can't make a joke about it because it'll show up in their next writing. Procedural Queeman, I know I could. I show up there has to do it. I do not want somebody, or I do want somebody to kill Driscoll though, or Lab, or Mr. or Queeman. All those people can go die. Not that it mattered. I don't do witness intimidation. That, I'm just kidding. I can't make a joke about it because it'll show up in their next writing. Of lying and perjury, he refers to the undersigned counsel as disgusting. Oh, that's them. Nice. I am. Yes. Include this in your next file. I look forward to being in your next court filing. That's right. I think you are. And repeatedly accuses the undersigned counsel of grabbing random people to perjure themselves. I do. Show me your next filing. I'm here. Thumbs up. Link me. Put a screenshot.
In closing, this is a small point about Pixie's attorneys asking for the ability to go over the 10-page limit for the recent motion. Destiny admits it was expected.
Paperless order granting 44 motion for leave to file excess pages. The court finds good cause to grant the requested expansion of page limit. This is expected. You're probably always... I think it would take like an exceptional circumstance for them to say no extra pages, although the extra pages they filed were stupid.
Yet had his attorney fight Pixie tooth and nail to make everything as difficult as possible for the victims.
Motions, motion to file under seal, certain documents and its proposed order, motion for leave to exceed page limit on reply memorandum, because they wanted to file an extra long, insane reply instead of just a normal 10 pages. The documents to be filed under seal are repetitive, wordy, improperly formatted, and contain a myriad of extraneous and irrelevant information. The court should constrain plaintiff to the 10-page limit that they didn't need to file. And if we would have had a meet and confer beforehand, we probably wouldn't have okayed. I would imagine we would have fought on this motion to exceed page limit because they didn't need 20 pages to say a bunch of like, okay. Okay.
Who cares about them exceeding the page limit? Destiny's not bothered at all. After it happened, of course, and he's not invested in it at all once he knows he lost on that point. And then Here are some DMs, or not DMs, but Destiny talking on his website about this sort of stuff. These people are just following the most random nonsense. It's all just meme stuff, like filing declarations under seal without even getting approval from the court as part of these last-minute motions, and they haven't even made info available to us. It's just meme stuff. Like, they are literally just ignoring emails from my lawyers. I could be wrong, but I think she is just reading this wrong. The local rule she's citing is saying they can't file anything under seal that hasn't been approved by the court. If they file it, they have to redact everything that's the subject of the motion until it's approved, right? Okay, but if they filed it without it being redacted, you would be talking about this stuff on your stream. You would be naming these people. So of course they have to redact it first when they're still trying to get the seal approved. But they didn't do that. They just filed the motion with their own redactions and haven't made anything available to us or gotten approval from the court. They are just spamming the docket with actual nonsense. And it is part of a 3-hour segment, right? Obviously there's pauses and stuff in it because J Stock and Kelly are talking about it, but of Destiny spurging about this on his stream. And then here's some more of him spurging about it on his stream. There's a 30-minute segment here, also on Rao Kittenhouse's channel, but here, I'll put this guy up here real quick. He credits AG Peak on Kiwi Farms. And I'll only play like a minute or two of this, but it's just more of him saying the same thing to show you that he's talked a lot about this.
Have you gone over recent court memes? No, I don't know if there's any point in going over any of this stuff anymore. I hope there are sanctions for this case when this is over. They don't understand the rules of civil procedure, and they don't understand.
They don't understand the rules. Destiny understands them. That's why he was just proven to be completely wrong.
I guess anything having to do with, I can't explain it. I'm not sure. They keep trying to cite these local rules for how they want to file things under seal, like local rule 5.4b1. If you read these the local rules, or if you know anything about civil procedure, you can't file stuff under seal and keep it from the defense. You just can't do that. I don't know why.
Which they weren't trying to do. I'll show more documents that Pixie shared that show that.
Under seal and keep it from the defense. You just can't do that. I don't know why they keep trying to make this argument that they can. You can't do this. You're not allowed to do this. Defendant's opposition completely ignores the substantive basis for the motion. 1, good cause for sealing the identities is established since the declarations contain sensitive and private intimate details. But you yourself said that the details are there, you just don't have the names. So which part matters? I have to know who a witness is. I have to know who somebody who's purporting to support the plaintiff is. I have to know this. I have a right to know this.
And you will, right? That was never in question. And I think discovery goes until December of this year. So it's not like there was any urgency, right? It's not as if discovery is over in a couple weeks. And so he needs to be able to look into all of this right away. There's no urgency.
And 2, public disclosure of the identities of these witnesses would expose the witnesses to harassment, embarrassment, possible harm, and retaliation. If this is true, you've undermined your own motion by publicly releasing the screen name of at least one of the people involved, which allows people to identify who she is. And that's already...
Oh, they've released a screen name. That's exactly the same as their full legal name, right? Yeah, same thing.
Happened. But their own filings are sloppy. So they've already undermined this. And also, if you want to publicly file something under seal, meaning to keep it from the public, fine, but you still have to make that available to us. None of the rules allow you to file something that the defense doesn't know who the person is. Well, there might be, I'm not going to say none of the rules, but there might be some really exceptional rules.
That's stuff you can see. And I'll link all of this in the description, so if you want to see Destiny Spurgin in all of its glory, you can do that. So Pixie goes on to say, Destiny is claiming his only issue was not having access to the unredacted documents, which you just saw there. This is extremely interesting, seeing that Destiny's attorneys opposed the motion of filing under seal and wanted unredacted versions filed before the seal was granted. And here's a tweet from Destiny saying, since Doe is posting misinformation about this, just to clarify, the issue I have is opposing counsel filing redacted declarations without making the unredacted versions available to me. Thankfully, the court has said they need to file the unredacted versions under seal now. And then Here is court document. In connection with her motion for preliminary injunction, plaintiff moves to file under seal 3 anonymous declarations. Plaintiff's motion should be denied for 3 reasons. 1. Plaintiff failed to meet and confer prior to filing her motion. 2. Plaintiff refuses to identify the names of the declarants to defendant Bonnell's counsel. So they're in their court document, they're saying, no, Pixie refuses to identify the names of these people to Destiny. And 3. The federal rule and statute upon which plaintiff relies are not applicable here. At 8 p.m. on Friday, May 2nd, plaintiff's counsel emailed the undersigned stating, pursuant to Local Rule 7, we are meeting and conferring on the following motions. 1. Motion to file under seal certain documents and its proposed order. 2. Motion for leave to exceed page limit on reply memorandum. So that was the thing that Destiny mentioned about going over the 10 pages. The documents to be filed under seal are certain statements by witnesses which purpose is keep their names out of the public. You and your client will know their identities. I apologize for not reaching out before it's been an intense week. I'm not sure what all that is. At 11:40 p.m. EDT on May 2nd, plaintiff filed her motion for leave to file declarations under seal. At 12:05 a.m. EDT on Saturday, May 3rd, after the deadline to file her reply papers, plaintiff filed the declarations in redacted form. At 10 a.m. PDT on May 3rd, Bonnell's counsel requested unredacted copies of plaintiff's filings. Despite repeated requests, plaintiff refused to reveal to Bonnell the names of her declarants. Destiny and his attorneys were told repeatedly that they would have access to the unredacted versions after court ordered for the names to be protected. Giving him access to the names before the court would protect them would defeat the purpose of the seal. The issue was never about him knowing who his accusers were. It was about him knowing this information before the court would protect them. So let's see, try and read this email. It's pretty tiny. Despite our repeated requests, you have failed and or refused to provide us with unredacted copies of the declarations you improperly filed with your reply papers on Friday. Your continued failure and or refusal to provide the requested documents violates Local Rule 5.4. If you do not immediately provide us with the unredacted filings, we will so advise the court and seek appropriate remedies, including but not limited to striking the pleadings relying on the unauthorized declarations and the imposition of judicial sanctions against you and your client. All rights reserved. So, yeah, Destiny and his lawyers were trying to stop this. Mr. Bretler, note that Local Rule 5.4 provides, in relevant part, if prior to the issuance of a ruling on the motion to file under seal, the moving party elects or is required to publicly file a pleading, motion, memorandum, or other document that attaches or reveals the content of the proposed sealed material, then the moving party must redact from the public filing all content that is the subject of the motion to file under seal. So here they basically say, well, no, you're supposed to redact it, the stuff that you're asking to be sealed. Plaintiff elected to attach the declarations to the reply and file a simultaneous motion to file under seal. Defendant has no right to receive the unredacted documents at this time. It would also be highly negligent if we were to provide to your client the unredacted documents without the protection of their identities by the court in light of your client's public statements over the weekend maligning these declarants. Your client has also, they're basically saying, yeah, with the way Destiny acts, it would be irresponsible for us to not redact that stuff. We would be putting the people at risk. Your client has also threatened physical harm to other individuals that have spoken out against him and in support of the plaintiff. For J-Stock and Queeman, I'd kill them if I could. I'd show up to their house and do it. I do want someone to kill J-Stock, though, or Lav, or Mr. Girl, or Queeman. All those people can go die. Moreover, you have the full unredacted substantive content of the declarations. The only redacted portions are those that would reveal the identities of these declarants. There can be no legitimate urgency for you or your client to know these witnesses' legal identities. That does not alter the facts or your ability to defend your client in these proceedings. For these and other additional reasons, we will not be providing the unredacted documents unless they are under seal. We consider our meet and confer efforts to have been exhausted. I don't know what exactly they've tried to do to meet and confer, but apparently they've tried and been exhausted by trying to do so. All right, some more tweets from Pixie. I have not lied about anything. The emails you have posted further illustrate my point. I suggest you reread the objection your legal counsel filed. Your legal team asked to file unredacted versions before the seal was granted, or strike them from the record. If this was truly a civil rights problem, why even suggest withdrawing striking from the record? Wouldn't the demand only be to know of the identities? Yeah. Oh, I should have read what she was replying to first, but here's what Destiny was saying that she just replied to. All the court documents are public. I'm not sure why Doe is lying about them. Also not entirely sure why we're litigating this on Twitter, but okay. Well, I don't know for sure, but I would think it's because Pixie needs to fundraise money. So she kind of has to talk about this stuff publicly in order to draw attention to it and hopefully get donations. Here's the email exchange Joe selectively quotes. The filings are public. She hopes to have people come in randomly to join motions, make anonymous filings and accusations, and if the court rejects the motion to seal these filings, withdrawing those names without ever making them available to me. This is a violation of civil procedure and obviously violative of my rights. The issue was never about filing things under seal, it was about withholding names from me. So here again, he's saying they're trying to withhold these names from me. They're never going to give them to me. That's their goal here. Well, no, doesn't seem to be the case. Including a screenshot of the email exchange she didn't include that her irrelevant email was responding to. And then that's part of what I just read there. Oh, this green one looks like it might be different. To be clear, because of your client's statements related to Jane Doe and any potential witnesses, we had to file these under seal. Once the court rules on the motion, we'll proceed accordingly. If the court grants the motion, you will know their identities. Thank you. Okay, so why did he tweet this out then? In the email that he's sharing here, they're saying, no, we'll share it with you. What a dope. Okay, and then this first page we already looked at. So we just go and look at the part Pixie circled here. For the foregoing reasons, Bonnell requests that the court deny plaintiff's motion to file under seal and order plaintiff to file unredacted versions of the declarations or strike them from the record. Again, there's showing that Destiny and his team were trying to stop them from getting this stuff sealed. I know withdrawing and striking are not the same thing, but the consequence would effectively be the same. He would still not get the names in the alternative scenario his legal team suggested. What Destiny says he's okay with versus what his lawyers filed are two very different things. Okay, looks like that's some ChatGPT or something explaining why it's weak. But yeah, so there you go. Destiny got completely dumpstered on this. He whined and moaned and cried that this is not right. They shouldn't be able to do this. There's no way that they should do that. They should be sanctioned for doing this. And then the court approves sealing these records, and he'll be getting all of this information that he said they were trying to hide from him. You can see in those emails and stuff, Pixie's team said, no, we'll share it with you after the seal gets approved. And then as soon as that happens, that's like, oh, that's how it should have gone. What are we coping about? What do you mean we lost? Just so embarrassing. I don't understand, first of all, of course, how you can get past him being a habitual consent violator. But then on top of this, the way he's acting regarding this case is so pathetic. So pathetic. Just completely rewriting history and act like, oh, no, this is what I knew would happen. This is what I was saying from the get-go. This is totally fine. Okay, well, why are there hours of you spurging about this? Utterly embarrassing.